What is going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt, and it's time to talk about Hybrid at Town Hall 12. This is going to be your one-stop shop for learning Hybrid at Town Hall 12, learning the different variations, and also learning how you guys can use the Hybrid and spells. If you guys enjoy this style of content and want to see more here on the channel, make sure that you're subscribed, make sure that you guys are ringing the notification bell for more of my high-quality, educational Clash of Clans content. But without further ado, let's get started. First and foremost, let's go ahead and talk about the base identification necessary to use Hybrid. There are 3 different variations that you can use to have success with in finding the right base for using Hybrid, whether this be Queen Charge, Queen Walk, or Sui Hero, which we will be discussing later on in the video, so make sure that you guys are watching through there. But it's good to know the base identification in terms of the pathing. What you really want to try and look for are areas of a base where you can get rid of with either a Sui Hero, Queen Walk, Queen Charge, and you want to try to create as much pathing as you can for your Hybrid. This is a good example of easy pathing. This is an L shape in terms of what we want for our hogs and our miners. You may see that there are a lot of damage buildings, a lot of defensive buildings in there that's going to provide us with easy pathing for both hogs and miners. Even though that there are storages in there, they will not split the miners from the hog riders because they definitely are in a similar area where they won't split too far. So this is really one of the biggest things. Another thing that people have asked me as well is the difference between hogs, miners, and Hybrid. What you need to look for when using hogs is that the hog riders need to have an open space, basically wide entry point. That way what you're able to do is use a mass hog format and send them all in. For the most part, this works a little bit better when the miner pathing is not really that good and the Hybrid pathing really isn't good. But if there are more defensive buildings in the base, Hybrid works better. But if there are less damage building or defensive buildings and there are more resource collectors or pumps, that is a better spot for miners. So something to keep in mind. I've been asked that quite a few times, so it's definitely good to know. The other thing that I want you guys to understand from looking at this is lanes. This is extremely important when you are doing Hybrid, no matter the variation. This can really determine what you're going to be getting from a base. So first and foremost, we've got our main part, whether this be the lightning spells or using a Sui Hero or using a Queen Walk or Queen Charge. What we're doing is just using this first lane to get rid of a lot. So let me change the color here of this one just to give you guys a better look into that. So there you go, lane 1, and then you have lane 3 over here, which is creating the other side of the funnel. What you're doing from 1 and 3 is just creating a funnel. That way you can send your hogs and miners into the base in lane 2. So that is what you're going to be looking at from this one. You've got your first lane for your Queen Charge, for your Sui Hero, your second lane is your Hybrid, and your third lane is the other side of the funnel. This can be anything from using a Siege Barrack to also using the King, or using a combination of the two, or even using a couple other troops other than using, you know, something like the Siege Barrack, but also using something like an E-Drag, Baby Dragon, P.E.K.K.A, you name it. So there's definitely a lot of different viable ways that you can do so. So that kind of gives you guys a really good idea and concept of what you should look for when doing Hybrid here at Town Hall 12. And even at lower end Town Halls and even at Town Hall 13, you want to try and make sure that you're doing something like this. So hopefully that gives you guys an idea for base identification. But now let's go ahead and talk to you guys about the specific variations and when you should use them. Now, the Queen Charge is the most used version of the Hybrid. This is literally the standard version of the attack. So what you should be trying to look for is an area where you're able to deal with the enemy clan castle. So in this area here, we kind of want to get rid of this area of the base. He's specifically looking for this multi-inferno. However, if you can get the town hall with the charge, that can really provide you with more value, because you now don't have to send your Hybrid in for the town hall. You can just send it in really wherever you want, and that's going to be a big help. So I want you guys to understand how you guys can actually do this. Now, first and foremost, how you guys can break in is going to determine on your availability. For instance, if you have regular wall breakers, you can still use them. But if you have super wall breakers, it's definitely another good way to use them as well. Other than that, those are the only two ways that I would try to break in. Jump is a little bit more risky because you are using another spell space when you could use either a rage or a heal spell. But for the most part, you usually want to use either regular wall breakers or super wall breakers. Now, what this means for the rest of your attack is going to be pretty simple. All you're going to be doing is specifically starting off with the funnel. You're going to be trying to funnel the queen. That's why you're seeing the baby dragon, you're seeing a cocoa balloon, and you're seeing the same thing over on the right-hand side. Getting rid of this mortar and making sure that the queen will be able to work her way right into the base. These are just small things that you really need to understand as an attacker at Town Hall 12. You want to make sure that you're able to create a funnel just enough so that the queen will not go onto the outside and will force her way in. Now, of course, on this base here, you probably could have done a queen walk into this hole here. That would take a little bit more funneling, but he decided not to do that, and we will be talking about queen walk later on. But the thing that you'll see here is we're going to deal with the clan castle troops. We're using the rage spell in order to provide support for our queen as she deals with the enemy clan castle troops and also dealing with a lot of heavy fire. Now, due to the clan castle troops being lured out, we're able to pull the queen in for this town hall. That's huge because it's going to allow us to get rid of the town hall, which is definitely worth a lot of good value. So that means that we do want to use a rage spell in order to boost her up and boost her healers up in order for her to take down the town hall. This is really how you guys can do the queen charge effectively, and by using those super wall breakers in order to break into multiple layers of the base, you're able to open your queen up to go in a little bit further. Hopefully what that gets you guys into understanding is the whole differences between using a queen charge and not. So the other thing I want to quickly mention, as we take a look at what she's gotten from the base, I want you guys to get comfortable with quadrants. This is going to be something where you want to really take a look at different parts of a base. And you want to try and look at them mostly from the center. So if you draw a line like halfway through, just roughly, you want to take a look at what your queen may be able to get with the charge. Now in this case here, she did get a little bit further in this quadrant here, but what we're able to do is still create a funnel down this way and then send the hybrid in kind of like this, how we would if the town hall was still active. So that is exactly what you kind of want to really try to do, is make sure that you look at quadrants, because that's going to help you guys really understand where to do a queen charge and where not to do one. But now let's go ahead and talk to you guys about the queen walk variation and what you guys should do for that. Next up is the queen walk. Now there is a couple limitations that you do need to realize. This one works a little bit better only when there are holes in the walls of a base, or if there is a compartment that is reachable via the queen, or even if there are lanes or alleyways that are open for the queen just to walk in. Those are going to be the limitations to this. You will not see this on every base, but if you can take advantage of it, it is hugely important that you try to do that. Now, for the most part, how you want to do this is you want to make sure that your queen walks in the right direction for a specific target. This could be anything from using it on the town hall like you see here. Now, this example had a Yeti Bomb involved as well. So we dealt with the Yeti Bomb and we were able to get rid of a multi-inferno. From that, we're going to be starting off with a queen walk. So this shows you a good way to how to deal with the clan castle troops in case that you are seeing something like maybe an E-drag or something like that, and you wanted to still deal with the clan castle. In this case, we had headhunters and an inferno dragon, so we had to use a free spell for it. But for the most part, all we're doing with this is creating a funnel for this queen to move her way right in for this town hall, getting rid of that and creating pathing. So by using the rage spells only when necessary for this queen as she starts to step up is going to be a huge important thing. So you'll see here using the rage spell on top of the queen in order to keep her alive, keep the healers healing her and also allowing her to sort of take down the Town Hall because of her faster hit speed and higher DPS. So that kind of gives you guys an idea of how to do a queen walk with this instead of just doing a queen charge. We were just looking in for that Town Hall, we took care of the clan castle, and we didn't use a super wall breaker or regular wall breakers or even a jump. We just allowed our queen to walk in. So just know those limitations when you're using the queen walk, but for the most part, there's another unique variation that you can try out. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Sui Hero version and how you guys can use that one as well. Now, we've got the Sui Hero variation. Now, I want to explain to you when is the best time to do this. Again, remember that you can always do a queen charge, but a Sui Hero will work better some of the time. Now, you may have already noticed that this one was a Zap hybrid, which this is really where it works really well. When you don't have to worry about the clan castle, you don't have to worry about the Eagle Artillery if you get it with the lightning spells, but for the most part, you just want to use this just to get something that you can get by either using regular wall breakers or super wall breaker to kind of break in and then get rid of a threat like a multi-target Inferno or maybe the Town Hall, for instance. So this is going to give you guys a really good in-depth look into it. So we could have easily gone ahead and did a Sui Hero for the Town Hall. It's on the corner. It's a really nice area. However, we decided to go ahead and go for the Inferno Tower. We're not only doing this to create pathing, but we're also doing it so we can get rid of a specific threat. And that way we're gonna be able to easily work our Sui Hero right into here. But first and foremost, we want to create a funnel. This means by using a couple baby dragons or just one baby dragon in order to allow our heroes to go in. That is extremely huge because we want to make sure our king and queen go into the base. Queen's going to take down anything over the walls while the king is there to tank. The baby dragon's there to provide a little bit more support by creating a funnel. That is it. That's all we're really doing with this attack. For the most part, after this, all we have to do really is just send in the hybrid for the Town Hall. That's it. Now, in this matter here, in this case, he did use the Ice Golem with the hybrid in order to provide just a little bit more of a tank. So some of the defenses are locked onto the Ice Golem, but you can use the Ice Golem as a tank for your heroes. So keep in mind that you can do that for most of the time with the Sui Hero. So something to keep in mind when you guys are doing this. Now that you guys know the 3 different ways that you can start an attack, whether this be a Queen Walk, Queen Charge, or Sui Hero, let's go ahead and talk about the ZapQuake, and let's talk about 2 variations that can actually work hand in hand with those other unique variations to start off your attack. So the first thing that you can do to add to your Queen Charge, Queen Walk, or Sui Hero is going to be a Yeti Bomb. For the most part, I would only use this with a Queen Walk and Queen Charge, but this is something that is very important to learn. This is just an addition. This is not something that you have to apply to every attack, but it gives you an option whether the base is right or not. This can be used on a lot of different bases. For instance, if there is a single target Inferno compartment that you want to take down without having to worry about the queen being locked onto it, this is something that you can use to take care of it. You can also take care of luring out the clan castle this way too, and you'll see that within this example. The biggest thing I want you guys to understand is how to do it. So we're going to use a couple Coco Loons in order to soak up any Seeking Air Mines from the outside. That way the blimp can easily work its way in. We want to usually try to pop it right over the Inferno Tower in order to allow us to take it down, and we can use a rage spell as well to get rid of an Inferno and also to help keep these Yetis alive as they continue to push through. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to make this very successful. Of course, you can also use the Yeti Bomb on a Town Hall, whether this be using 2 Yetis or using a Yeti and then like 6 Sneaky Goblins. You can do that, but of course, it's always going to come at a cost. So if you're going to be using Sneaky Goblins, you're looking for the Town Hall. Outside of that, I would just use two Yetis and 4 Barbarians, but other than that, that is all that you really need to know about the Yeti Bomb. Now, the other thing that we want to go over is how do you apply this to a Queen Charge, Queen Walk, or a Sui Hero? The thing that you need to understand is when you're doing this with either a queen walk or queen charge, you want to get rid of a specific area of the base, like right here, that you can't really get rid of with a queen charge. So by getting rid of this area here, his queen is able to work right in for the town hall. This is already going to help us create a funnel because we're already going to funnel this side out, which means that what we're doing is we've already got this area funneled out, and we're going to use the king on this side, or at least for the most part right here, and kind of get rid of this area. And then what we can do for the most part is just send in our hybrid for the eagle artillery. So that is how you will apply this to your attacks. So if you want to really be a better player using the Yeti Bomb, that is going to be the way to do it. So definitely that is one of the additions that you can have to your hybrid attack, whether it be a queen charge or queen walk. But let's give you guys another variation that is definitely something that might be more up your alley using the ZapQuake. Now, learning how to add the ZapQuake is going to be very important because you may want to use this in certain cases. So using the ZapQuake is going to determine on the number of lightning spells that you bring. So on screen, you're going to see the number of lightning spells that you need for each and every defense in the game. This is going to help you guys really understand how to use the lightning spells and how many you need depending on the base. Usually 6 to 7 lightning spells is going to be more than enough, and you will be able to net yourself a ton of value this way. So you can see on screen the number of lightning spells that you need. Feel free to screenshot it, but it's going to be very useful for you. Outside of this, what you should be looking for is anything that is either near the clan castle. So for the most part, if the clan castle and eagle artillery are well further away from each other, you may want to use the lightning spells over defenses that are fairly close to it, like wizard towers or expos. This is going to help you really net yourself some value, and it's going to help you create some pathing. Along with this, you should try to weaken up some of the defensive buildings with some of the lightning spells, as you still want to try and make sure that the lightning spell damage is still encompassing the clan castle. That is exactly what you want to try and do. Now, how this applies to a queen charge and queen walk is very simple. All you're doing is sending in your queen for the town hall. In this example, that's what he does, but in other cases, try to look for an area that you want to charge in that's going to create this sort of path. That way you can create the other sides very similar and send your hybrid right in. That is what you want to do. And then if you're doing something like a Sui hero, you can use the Sui hero for an Inferno Tower or for another threat like the Town Hall. So that's something that you always want to try and keep in mind when you're doing this. Other than that, that is all that you really need to know. Now, we are going to show you guys the use of the lightning spells and also how this applies to a queen charge and queen walk. And you can see from this case is that we're able to use the lightning spells over the key defenses, including the clan castle. And you're using the earthquake further away from the town hall so you don't activate it. That is the biggest thing that I want you guys to understand from this. Now you'll see that we're going to be starting off with a queen charge and just creating that funnel in order for us to get this queen to move in. We want to make sure that she's moving her way in order to deal with this town hall. It is not too difficult to identify a good base design for this. It is definitely very easy, and it can provide you with a lot of value in case that, you don't think that it will be. So if we times 2 through this, just to give you guys a good idea, notice the use of this charge to get rid of a particular area of the base. And notice that we're going to be getting rid of the town hall, and we're going to be getting rid of some of the defensive buildings. That is going to make it easier for us to use the hybrid, like you see that is starting right there. That gives you guys an idea of how to apply this to the ZapQuake or to the hybrid itself, and hopefully it allows you to it helps you with the queen charge and with the queen walk and possibly even with the Sui hero. So hopefully this gives you guys a good idea. Other than that though, let's go ahead and roll into how you guys can use hybrid with the hog and miner portion and with the spells. Now let's go ahead and talk about the main part of this attack, the miners and the hog riders. The hybrid is going to be your main part as you start to enter right into the base. So let's talk about funneling. Now there are 2 different ways that you can really create a funnel. You can either use the siege barrack on this side, or you can use the king. Now if you're using a Yeti Bomb, you will not have the siege machine to funnel, so you will be using the king to create the other side of the funnel like you see here. So we can pop his ability and go a little bit further here, use a couple wizards or, you know, some goblins or archers in order to help with that along with the king. If you have the siege barrack and the king, you could always create this opposite side of the funnel in order to provide you with a little bit more support for your hybrid. That way what you're able to do is send your hybrid right in for the main part of the base by sending them in here. So that is going to be the biggest thing that I want you guys to understand when doing the hybrid. So you'll see we're dropping in the miners, hog riders, and then the warden. You can obviously do the miners, warden, and then hogs, but it's really up to you. Notice the use of the first heal. We're keeping the miners alive as they continue to push through. We've got the warden and his passive ability over them, and this is going to allow us to give them a little bit more health. And once they get a little bit deeper into the base, like a little bit more DPS in the core, we want to use the warden ability. We still have 2 heal spells for them in order to get right through, including an area like this. You may see the use of a heal and rage. This is where you kind of want to use that specifically. Now, if you have free spells, you could of course use it on that too, but for the most part, you may want to use the rage with the hog riders and the miners. They really synergize well when underneath the two. So definitely, it's always good to keep in mind when you're rolling through with this attack. For the most part, you will have miners still up. Miners are definitely very resilient and they work really well and synergize well under heal. Unlike hog riders that stay above ground, the miners do not take any hits when they are underneath the ground, so it makes it very easy for them to stick around for most of the raid. The miners or the hog riders will still really help with the pathing and stuff. They will help with getting rid of some defenses, but they may die quicker than your miners did. But for the most part, if they die towards the end of it, you will have miners for the cleanup and you will be able to get through it with no problem. That gives you guys a good idea of how you guys can do your hybrid. Of course, talking about free spells is going to be a different story. When you guys are using the free spells, make sure that you look for a specific area of a base to use the free spells on, like a lot of heavy fire, like what you saw there, the king, the Inferno, the wizard tower, the bomb tower. There's a lot of DPS right there, a lot of splash that he had to deal with the hogs and the miners. So using a free spell there could have been a good decision as well. Other than that though, that gives you guys a really good idea of how you guys can use hybrid. So let me know if you guys made it this far in the video. Let me know what you guys think of the video. What do you guys think of the quality of it? Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed it. Other than that, remember to subscribe, remember to turn on that notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational Clash of Clans videos. On top of that, make sure that you guys are giving me a follow on the social, follow me on Twitch, join my community Discord server, the links to those are in the description, and make sure that you use code CorruptYT in the Clash Champ shop to save 10% off your purchase. Other than that though guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.